Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Travel Like David, the travel club that hopefully invites you to more ease, joy, and glory and luxury in traveling. And I'm very, very, very honored to have our special guest on today, Simone Milasas from
Yay!
St. Petersburg, where I am currently as well. We are starting an advanced body class tomorrow. So if you would like to come, be some magic with your visa to Russia and get on either Turkish Airlines or Air Serbia, the only two airlines flying into Russia from Europe at the moment, and join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Well, if not, tap into the energy. This call today, I just finished a 3D body class. We start an advanced body class. Guess what? It's all about bodies. Ease for bodies, fun for bodies while traveling. And Simone and I both enjoy traveling. We love traveling, but we also take good care of our bodies while traveling. And I think also when we plan traveling and how we travel. So, Simone, welcome.
Thank you, David.
Travel
Thank you
like
for having
David.
me on here. You're one of my um you're my go-to person for travel stuff. When I have something, I'm like, David, help.
Well, you
You're
are my go-to person when it comes to taking care of your body while traveling because you have this incredible gift of, um, you know, 10-minute workout or this kind of fresh juice that you mix in the morning when there are so many little tips and nurturing contributions that you use. So question number one, taking
Mhm.
care of your body. What where do you start when you plan a long trip? Because you don't travel for vacation, I suppose, because you always facilitate, which
Yeah.
you considered working. So what do you look at when you plan your trips and travel?
Well, to begin with, I never used to. Can I say that? And I travel so much. Like I travel probably like, I don't know, 9 months of the year. So, and I'm looking at what actually works for me at the moment too with travel. And I'm on a 3 month tour here in Europe. And I never used to look at it. And I used to, by the time I got home, I was like, wow. And I was exhausted. And the big joke with my personal trainer in Australia was when I went to Europe, I'd come home and my fitness level would be just really bad. And then I'd go to Costa Rica or South America and I'd come back and it would be good. Because for me, one of the things I've noticed is I love heat. Like I will go for a run in the heat, like in 30-degree heat. But when it's cold, I'm like, I'm not going outside. That's not my gig. So in Costa Rica, say El Lugar, I'll go horse riding, I'll go for a run, I'll go for a walk, I'll be outside all the time. And the food also I notice is really like yummy and fresh and all that sort of stuff. So when I'm in Europe, I actually recently, you're the only person I've ever sent that to is my notes thing. And I have got in my notes in my phone, it's called hotel workouts. And I collect information from everybody. And I've got all these different links of what that is. I try and travel with a yoga mat. I've actually got two in my room right now. I've got a small roller. If I can't travel with it, I see it's for me, it's worth the expense of saying, can you get me a small roller and a yoga mat? Because what I can do with a yoga mat and a roller in the morning is creates so much ease in my body, especially when you're on stage and facilitating. It's 10 minutes. Like if you can do 10 minutes of stretching. And I've got some people, one's called Mad Fit. She used to be ballerina, so she's got some pretty hard workouts there. But the whole idea is if you can move your body to the extent you can move your body, there's like lymphatic drainage workouts that I did with you, David, when we were in Prague.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, but it's just so
12
good.
minutes. It's a 12-minute workout.
Yeah,
And your entire lymphatic system in the body gets activated. And the whole day for me was just, wow, full of energy.
mm.
Um, Brilliant.
The other thing I'll do too is I'll take electrolytes. But the thing is, it's not a ritual. Like I don't do a ritual. It's so if you Valerie, I will send David like
Now they all want the list, Simone.
yeah, oh,
You
it's
unleash the
pretty. It's
monsters.
okay. If you get the list, it's my chaos head. Okay, don't blame me. I will send the whole list, but it's my chaos head, so don't expect it to look a certain way. But it's got all these different links. Some of them have like an arm workout that you could do in a hotel room. I collect information. There's a guy called Mike Chang who Kat's actually really good. She puts me in touch with a few people, and he does these, like, one's 25 minutes, one's 60 minutes, and he starts with like energizing and waking up your body, and then he does stretching, and then he does strength training, and then he ends with like breathing, this meditation and breathing. But Kat and I both laugh because we both breathe but sort of do SOP and energy pools at the end. It's like, okay, what am I asking for here, you know? So there's different things like that. But I'll also, like, I just took before, because we drank so much friggin' champagne last night, I carry electrolytes with me as well. So I don't have a ritual, let's put it like that, but I follow the energy as much as I can of what my body is asking for. I will get up earlier so that I can move my body in some way. And I used to think it was about getting hot and sweaty and red in the face, and it's so not. It's, you can do 15 minutes of something and then your body is just so happy with you. I just went for a walk to find, because I was craving fruit, right? So I'll listen to that. And I thought I saw this shop up the road. Let's not forget, before we started recording, we mentioned it's International Russian Day. There are people everywhere. So I was like, just do it. Go to this fruit shop, because I saw fruit outside. And just as I was walking there, Pectopar or something like that means restaurant. And I went, crap, it's actually a restaurant. Looks like a great health restaurant, but no fruit to find. But I will ask for things. Like, I'll ask for something in my, like, you know, don't be afraid to ask for what it is you desire. Like, seek it, and seek for what it is when you're traveling. It's like, what is there locally that is a contribution to your body? You know, what else do I do? Because I'm
So when you take care of your body, you do the workouts. What I would like you to share more, how do you integrate it in your daily routine? Most people, you know, they sleep in, they are late, they eat to breakfast. So adding this 12-minute workout, I saw you. I love sharing with you. You just do it, right? You don't, well, I'm still, you know, texting on my phone and drinking my coffee. You just finished your 12-minute workout. I was, damn it.
so my favorite. Here's my favorite thing to do. Right, if I have enough time, is get up, shower, order coffee, because I fucking hate the Nespresso shit that they give you in hotel rooms. So I will order a pot of coffee with hot milk on the side. Then by the time like the coffee comes, etc., I've got my computer, I can look through all my WhatsApps, and I can do probably like 30 minutes of work and then drink coffee, and then I work out. That's my favorite routine. So I'm not very good at just waking up and going and moving my body, but it's even jumping up and down on the spot for a minute is a great thing to do. That literally, if you do jumping jacks, which is one of David's favorite moves, by the way, he loves jumping jacks. If you even do jumping jacks, it's like it literally gets your lymphatic system moving. Like, there's so many different things that you can choose to have that as part of your day. Look, I don't find it hard to get up early. I'm an early person. Like, I know traveling with Graham quite often goes to the gym after class. No, that's not me. Like, you know, maybe going for a walk or something like that, but no, I can't. That's no. So he does his thing. So it's like doing what works for you. But I think the main thing, David, and everybody, is it's not about neglecting your body whilst you travel. You know, it's, you know, what works for you and your body. Like, even from, it's funny because I can see Valerie as well, and she's bringing me this this shea butter to Opatia, because I heard her talk one day, and she makes this whipped shea butter, and that's actually what I use on my face. And I ran out, so I pinged her and was like, "Hey, can you bring me some?" So I'm buying some of her whipped shea butter, but I will look for what is available. Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned too is there's a company in Australia called My Way Up. I love this guy. He was so sick, he was pretty much dying. And he had so much stuff going on with irritable bowel and gut and all that sort of stuff. And so, and he started looking at it going, there's got to be something that I'm doing that's creating this. You know, how am I creating this, basically? So this whole company that he created, it's so clean, all the products. So I travel with his stuff, and I travel with it's like protein powder, but it's got prebiotics, probiotics, like collagen, like all this sort of thing. So that's what you would see me, David, when you stay with me every morning. I make one of those, or throughout the day. At some point, I would make one of those with coconut water. So, but it's just it basically it feels good in my body. So that's what I choose. Like this morning, the breakfast at this hotel. Oh my God, wait till you get here.
You sent me the photo, I saw it, and I can't wait because I'm moving to your
I
hotel.
know, but it's incredible. But here's the thing. It is so incredible. But I walked around looking at a lot of it, but I didn't eat it because it looked so good. But I was like, my body doesn't want to eat all of that. But look, I was so grateful and appreciative, and I ate what I ate, and that's all I ate. It's like, they had this beautiful fresh pineapple juices, by the way. It was amazing. So,
Nice.
and great coffee. I always look for great coffee. If I don't have great coffee, cranky Simone. Not many things make me cranky. So, but look, I think it's about like what I choose is not right. I've learned, I travel so much, I can't, it's not fun for me when I get home if I'm like, oh, like I'm got this like unhealthy, like bloated vibe about me. It's so, this is my living. I travel, but this is my living. So how am I going to choose to live? Like I'm a water snob of magnitude. I always make sure I've got good water, like where I am. So that's one thing I would check out as well. Yeah.
So you take your caring about your body with you. I had a question here in the 3D body class. w- More questions about traveling, and people look at when they travel, something is kind of the routine is not possible anymore. Everything is more difficult. For you, everything seems to be just different, or even um, somehow a little bit more exciting. You go, oh man, you want to go to the street and look for food. You had excitement in your eyes. So you're
Okay. So yeah, here's one thing, and I think this is what puts people off traveling. And I would like to invite you to a different possibility, like flip it. Like there was last year, we were meant to do a class, right, Rich's CF training, I think it was, and we cancelled it. So I had this extra week, and I was like, oh, where am I going to spend the week? And I went to Opatia in Croatia early, and I'd never been there before, right? And I was on my own. So I arrived at Opatia. I had an Airbnb. So I went to the Airbnb. I was hungry when I got there. So I literally had to be in question. And I went, okay, I'm hungry. Where am I going to go? And I looked at the sea and I went, there's got to be restaurants down by the sea. Let's just head towards the sea. So I went to the sea, walked into this restaurant. It's actually my favorite restaurant there. Ordered a glass of champagne, some beautiful food on my own, like looking at the sea. It was amazing. And then the next day I was picking a car up. Okay, I'm picking a car up. Where do I go? You've got to be in question the whole time. Where's the supermarket? Okay, look it up. Which supermarket would I like? Go to a different one. And for me, it's like you're going to stumble and fall. You're going to turn down a wrong road. You're going to, like today and the maps thing, both my maps sent me in a completely different direction when I was coming back from Hermitage. And I went, oh, that's friggin' Russia sending you like the tracking thing. So I went, okay, where am I? And I went, I know the way back. And I just worked it out. But it's about being in question. Like people would go, oh, I don't want to go there because I haven't been there and I don't know where anything is. No, that's the beauty of traveling. Like even I went hiking on my own, and I don't always go hiking on my own, like in a different place like that at home, I would. And I noticed how present I was. Like I drove to this place in this hiking, and it was pretty full on hike. And even hiking, I like this story. So I'm hiking near Apache, and I was hiking on my own and thinking, I don't have that sense that I'm alone. I have this sense that there's these nature spirits with me, or I was describing it as fairies to myself. And I was like, okay, cool. I get down the bottom and I start reading up all about this area, and they're saying that there's proof that, they found proof that people were living there in the 14th century. And they also said, I've never read this before, is that this area is renowned for fairies. And I went, yes, it is. They were hiking with me today. It's like trusting in yourself, trusting your body, and trusting consciousness, and trusting the universe that has your back. Like that's where the adventure is. So, like I said, how many people don't do something because they like that comfort? And it's okay to like that comfort. You find that comfort in different things. Like I know David also likes his coffee in a particular way. I like like they do coffee here the perfect way at this hotel. This is the way I like my coffee, right? So I'm like, oh, stoked. This is very happy. But you find it, you find these things all over the world, and then you also discover something different. So you can find that comfort and discover and explore in the same day.
Beautiful. So you just mentioned you take a walk in St. Petersburg, the GPS doesn't work. You just hire a car in Croatian. How many languages do you speak? I mean, you being fluent in all these languages must have really ease with it. How do you have ease with
I,
that?
I speak English. Look, I can ask directions in French, but if they answer me, I have no idea what they're saying. I speak a little bit of German, a little bit of Italian, enough to ask something, I guess, in a way. But when they speak back to me, I'm like, what? But here's the thing: you always find someone. You always find someone. And the other thing you have is, for me, is I don't know how to describe that, but it's like the possibility, like when you engage with someone, even if you don't speak the language. I've spoken to plenty of people where I don't speak the language, they don't speak back to me, but there's this engagement that you can have, that you can be, that sends you in a slightly different direction to navigate, something different. So no, I mean, I am lucky because English is a really good language to know. But yeah, no, I don't, it's not a barrier. It's
So
only a
that's
barrier if you create it to be a barrier. There's always someone you can find. And
beautiful.
Google Translate. Like I've used at my hotel in Moscow, no one who came to my room, like any of the concierge or waiters and waitress spoke uh, English. I was about to say Russian, English. So I use Google Translate for everything. Can I please have some more towels? And I play it to them and they go, yeah, can I have this? And play it to them. And it's like, yes. It's like, what time is breakfast? It's like easy. But it's easy
Wonderful.
if you make it easy. And you know that, David. You've got to
I
have
know.
that energy of like, hey, this is an adventure. Like for me, the whole entire world is this amazing adventure, this place to explore. So, and the other thing too that I would do is take myself out into nature. Like a lot of people will say, have you seen this? Have you done that? Like galleries, museums and stuff. I don't mind seeing galleries and museums, but I would see that 20% and 80% I will seek nature. Like when we were in Vienna and I said to David, we had so much on and I knew I was going to all these cities. And I said, hey, is there somewhere we could go? And we had the day free. And I said, could we go hiking and find a lake to swim in? David goes, it's the lake. He goes, it's going to be cold. And I went, that's the point. Let's dive in a cold lake. And so David took me to just past where he used to live. And he said he hadn't been there in 15 years. And we went on this big long walk, like this hike, and it was beautiful. And we were in nature. And then we found this lake and we lay by the lake. And then we actually went in and everyone started looking. And then other people started going in the lake. It was beautiful and cold and amazing. And then we lay in the sun and it was wonderful. And for me, I require nature. Like I've just spent 2 days in the woods in Russia. And it was just so nice to be in this little wooden hut, really basic sort of style living, and it was raining and swapping body work and the woods are out there and then there's birds everywhere. Like that is so nurturing for me.
Beautiful. Um, One question that a class participant asked, he's an access consciousness facilitator, and he said he always gets so excited when he schedules his trips, but then he gets exhausted. Um, my question to you, facilitating can be intense. How do you take care of your body while working and traveling, like facilitating and traveling? Um,
Oh,
what is
so
your secret of nurturing your body
okay,
so you're not getting exhausted, or do you get exhausted and don't have a point of view? What's your take on
I would say yes to all
exhaustion?
of that. And so one thing for me is the class is my priority. Like we start advanced body class tomorrow, that's my priority. going to a restaurant, going to a gallery, going out for a drink, going to anything, that's not my priority. The class is my priority. So I make sure of that. And then a lot of the times I will, like I've got Connor Hill at the moment here. I gifted him the CFP and the ABC so that he could work on me. And he was so sweet. He sent me a text today saying, okay, what do you need of me today? Da, da, da. And I said, I love it. So he's coming to run my bars tonight at 8:30 because I've got stuff on till 8:30. So he's coming to do that. So I will make sure I get my bars and my and body work as much as possible, even during lunch. Like I used to think you had to go out to lunch every day. You don't. Are you hungry? If you're not hungry, don't eat. You know, get bars or get body work. Sometimes I don't like getting bars at lunchtime because I pass out, and then you're like, whoa, you know. But now it depends what it is. Like an ABC, you're going back to class. A CFP, you're not. So I definitely make sure that's scheduled. The other thing too is like there's a sauna at this hotel. I like that. Like my body likes that, so I would do that. There's like I would even get massages or something that's nurturing for me too. So yeah, I think it's just like I hate using that word, but it's like balancing everything you're choosing, you know. But it is, it's true.
So I love that idea, and I think this is what I highly recommend to everyone. If you travel for classes, this contra deal, hey, why don't you come to class and work for me? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Your hosts and translators might have a lot to do. So why not adding one person
Yes.
who's just there for you and nurture you? That is beautiful. That is brilliant. And I'm not sure if people out there know or knew about that possibility. So thank you. I think I will add that to my
Well, a lot of the
my
times, I mean, it's a lot to put on the host plate as well, because a lot of the times they are busy. But then even like places like Vienna, um, you know, when I was there, you gave me a amazing person's name
yeah.
to call, yeah, and get my bars run. So I'm also willing to pay people, but I just booked her like for I think I had her 3 or 4 times, and I booked her and I paid her to come run my bars. So I don't always gift the class to someone to do that. It's a different. It depends where I am and depends who it is. Like I find Connor is like he ran my bars for 6 hours the other day. It was amazing, but I find him a lot of ease to be around, and for me that's important because sometimes if you have someone come run your bars, it's like they're getting a private session and like, dude, I just need to lie down and get my bars run, like you know. So it's for me, it's like who is going to be ease to contribute to me and my body. So then that becomes a priority. My body and myself become a priority.
That's beautiful. Talking about organizing your trips, when you plan your trip, do you arrive a few days earlier? Do you stay a little longer? I think I know you. I just want to ask you so everyone gets the benefit of your brilliance with traveling. You include your body when you even book your flights. Can you share your brilliance with that?
Okay, I would usually would never arrive just the day before class. I always make sure that I have at least a full day before class.
But then you have to pay an extra hotel room, and that's more expensive then.
Yeah, you do. Yep, absolutely. And
I'm
it's
just poking. I collected all the questions over the last 3 days.
right.
Just
Yep. No,
taking a smoking
absolutely.
mode.
Absolutely. No, I would. And okay, here's a weird thing that I'll tell you as well. Gary said to me when he asked, me to facilitate the choice for possibilities, and he said to me, the second day after class is really hard. And Dane and I had a chat one day and we went, but that doesn't have to be our reality. Like that's his. I have like it's true. And I used to work in the music industry, and in the music industry, like you'd have these concerts, and the musicians that I worked with a lot, it's huge. Like you're so pumped up, there's fans everywhere, it's this whole thing. And then when you get off stage, there's no one there. And you're just like, whoa. And it's like this come down. And it's not the same, but it's similar. So for me, it's like, okay, here's some I don't think I've ever told anyone this is the second day after class, I always try and make sure I've got something on that's for me, because if I was ever going to choose that energy of depressed, it's the second day after class. and I have no rhyme or reason why. I don't desire for it to be like a regular thing, and yet it shows up. So that second day, even if it's like, I don't know, going for a hike, being in nature, or meeting, someone like you, David, for lunch, that's ease and creative and a possibility, or something like that. I'll make sure that there's something that it's not too hardcore for me, and I don't have back-to-back things. Like my assistant, after a big class, she'll put in my calendar no meetings, Simone, for 2 days, and it's become this big joke because she puts it in there. Thank her, God bless Pamela. But then I go, well, I could do this and I could do this, and I put all these things on top of it. So, but I also know I'm doing it, and I choose it or not choose it. And I'm really attempting to give myself at least 2 days after a big class where I don't have podcasts or media or, any, big meetings and stuff like that. So it is giving yourself the space before and after a class. And can I say, if you're doing online classes, I think we tend to disregard that in a way, even if it's like a 3-hour online class. It's a big class. That's a lot of energy. Um, like I find classes that are live bodies, way easier on your body. And it's a muscle to extend to have live and online in the same instance, because you're dealing with all different time zones, all these different things. Like people are up at 2 a.m. or up at 5 a.m. or something like that. And you are an infinite being. You become aware of all of that. So it's also interesting on your body. So it's got to be an interesting point of view, but it's like, take the space before and after a class, like just to chill. Like I'm getting my bars run tonight and we start class tomorrow.
So, no meeting at the beautiful bar in the restaurant? Do I really have to go alone?
Tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But but that's the thing. I'd go, like, where were we? Oh, in Moscow. Uliana, she's got a kid and she doesn't have a kid, like, because Sebastian didn't come to Moscow. And she was like, she wanted to go to a bar. She wanted to go and have a drink. She was like laughing, going, it's going to take me 2 drinks and, and I'll be tipsy because
A cheap date.
yeah, exactly. And but I was so tired when I got to Moscow, and I'd just been in Istanbul, Turkey, doing BDD. Like I've been doing a class every weekend, and so uh, I knew that I needed to get my bars run. I knew that that's what was required. So I could, years ago, what I would have done is gone, oh, I need to go to the bar with Uliana because blah 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 blah. And I would have made it about that. And I just laughed and I said, I'm getting my bars run. And I was like, Graham, you have to take one for the team. And I was mucking around. He doesn't. It's his choice too. But for me, it's like, don't choose against yourself with your choices. And as you don't choose against yourself, what I find is there's a lot more possibilities that show up. And when you do engage with people and go and have a drink or dinner or lunch or something like that, it's you're more present. Like there's more of a joy and possibilities there too. I'm okay with staying in a hotel room on my own and not seeing people. That's fine. I don't need to go out all the time.
And I think that, Simone, is one of the most beautiful ways that you are being when you travel, because you choose for you and you allow others to choose for them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know it is, let's say, socially almost unacceptable to cancel something because you are tired, or to not go there. You come to a city, oh my God, you have to do this, you have to do that. There's this excitement of having you. And in this reality, they will say, oh, you have to be respectful. That is for me the biggest lie and the biggest gaslighting that people obviously don't do intentionally. But what you showed me is this, yes, and I'm taking care of myself. So let's see if we can do it another day. And I actually thank you for choosing for you tonight. I'll be fine at any bar alone as well.
I love it. I'll be
So,
fine.
but also thank you for today, because we planned to go for lunch, but then my plans changed because of that public holiday here. It would have taken me 35 minutes to
Oh,
get to your
easy.
place, 35 back, and just rushing through dinner. It wouldn't. It would not have been kind to my body. And you just, with total ease, just sure, no
Yeah.
issue, no drama. I think that is unique. That is unique. And I really want to say thank you, Simone, for having showed me this energy and for being willing to choose for me. And what I learned is the minute you don't feel guilty for canceling a meeting that you have planned or a tour to a museum or something where the person inviting you is so excited about, the minute you start choosing for you, and keep honoring you and the other one, they don't complain. You
No.
don't offend. Um,
And the universe opens up like to an entire different like energies when because if you look at the energy of you're choosing for somebody else and you're disregarding you, that's not really an open-ended like receiving energy. It's sort of like clunk, you shut the door. Whereas when you're actually choosing for you, you open doors to possibilities, and then you also open doors for others. Like I ended up having, I didn't go and have lunch with you, and I ended up having lunch with somebody else today, and we had a great conversation that I think was really required to have. So it's like, okay, cool, done. You never know what's going to show up. Look, I will say to people, because people are very proud of their cities and their countries, and I get that, and I think that's beautiful, right? And so the one thing I will say is I can't go do this touristy thing every city I go to. So what I usually do is I pick places that I am at, and I'll be like, because I do love exploring the world, and I will pick places that I'm at and go and do that. So I knew in Russia we were going to be here for a bit. So I said to Sergey, do you want to do a road trip? Let's go somewhere in nature, like go to the woods or something. And he was like, sure. So going and spending 2 nights in the woods, I knew I needed that. So I wanted to do that. The next time I go to Romania, I would probably give myself more time because I would love to go and explore that Transylvania area. Again, nature, like nature is what I tend to seek. So the whole 3 months, there's some cities I'm literally flying in, flying out, and maybe even just spending the time at the hotel and the restaurants in the near, 500-meter radius or something like that. But I'm okay with that. I don't judge myself for choosing that because I have that relaxation in my world. And then there's somewhere else that I'll go and explore something different. For me, Prague was about the Global Foundation and sharing the Airbnb with you. That was like my nurturing energy too, because it's like I find you so easy to be with, David. And like in the mornings, or whether it's at nighttime, sitting on the couch just chatting, and Chris comes over or something, and just extrapolating and really talking about possibilities. And also I love too, like if you're sharing with people, make it ease. Like David can go off and do whatever he wants, so can I. And it's like, and then we'll do stuff together, but it's not a what are we doing tonight at all. It's like sharing with someone, it doesn't mean you're creating a relationship. It should be a contribution, and something greater. And I remember when Graham shared with myself and Sarah Watt in Budapest a few years ago, and he went, that was amazing. He said, you guys were so easy. He said, there was no trauma and drama, no drama. And I went, why would there be drama? And he went, oh, Simone, you have no idea the people I've shared with and there's been drama. And I'm like, no, one thing I would make sure, I have my own bedroom and my own bathroom. I like having my own bathroom. So I would do an Airbnb that's big enough for us to have our own space, and then you share the kitchen, do whatever. You have fun, joy. But there's no responsibility for what the other person is doing.
That's so beautiful. And I think, Simone, you invited me and showed me this possibility. And I'm just reading a comment here in the chat. And this call is not just about travel, it is an inspiration about living. So, Simone, thank you for taking this topic to a beyond. And thank you for showing me, and hopefully all of you online here as well and here in the room, choosing for you always creates greater. You can't offend anyone if you choose for you and if you make the choice to put your body and what you require as a priority. And then traveling will just be ease, joy, and glory
Yeah.
all the
Well,
way.
here's the thing though, people can be offended, but you don't buy the lie. Because this is a really key piece, is you may be aware of other people's needs. Well, you are aware of other people's needs, but just because you're aware of their needs, it doesn't mean you have to fulfill them. That's it.
Beautiful. and how you not fulfill other people's need. You choose for you with no point of view.
Yeah.
And then everything will be ease, joy, and glory, at
Yeah.
least for you and your body. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Simone, thank you so much for being
You're
my
so
guest
welcome.
here.
I will see you at breakfast in the morning, David.
Yes, and I'll probably send you some pictures of a bar where I will go out.
Oh my God, good luck out there. It's full on. There's just people everywhere and there's buskers everywhere. Like,
I heard they celebrate with blueberry vodka here.
well, let me show you where I am. Yes, I have blueberry vodka. I am not drinking today. That's not happening today. But yeah, I have blueberry vodka. Yes,
Ooh, nice, 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 nice.
yeah. Oh, it's amazing. But here's the view. So I don't drop my computer out my window. Wow, it's such a beautiful day. Oh, actually, I could just do this, I think, because my computer thing's there. So, whoop, hang on.
Oh, you're overlooking the park.
It's not showing you, is it?
Now you're frozen.
Oh, it's very well. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not showing you very well. Damn, it's so beautiful.
Well,
Here, I'll
there are
send you.
white nights in St. Petersburg right now, so it's literally never
Oh,
done.
yep, yep. That's oh, but see things like that. A travel thing, bring an eye mask. Last time I was at White Nights, I didn't have an eye mask and it was freaking me out. I was awake at 1:30 in the morning. We were actually staying in this big house and Sergey, I ran into him in the hallway and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I went, "No, I'm not." I went, "My body doesn't know what to do." I said, "My molecules are going freaking out, going, why is it light?" And he goes, "Do you want me to do some body work?" And I was like, "Yes." And I could feel my body tapping into his body going, oh, okay, the molecules can calm down because your body naturally creates melatonin like in the morning to go, it needs to go to sleep at night. And like on the 22nd of June here, it'll be dark for 1.5 hours. And so leading up to that, it just keeps getting more and more. So you bring an eye mask, easy, solved.
Easy. Oh God, I love your ease, joy, and glory with travel, with white nights in Russia, and with everything else you're choosing. Thank you, Simone,
Thank
for being
you.
my guest today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And what would it take for all of you to have the same ease, joy, and glory with traveling? And I think I have to add with living, as Simone does. I
Yes.
love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't
Thank
wait
you,
to see you
everybody,
back
for being here.
tomorrow.
Thank you for being on David's
Bye
membership.
bye.
Thing.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.